Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. It's been a really feel-good edition of ESPN FC today. We've had all sorts going on, but I just don't have the questions right in front of me right now.
Just take your time.
Yes, Frank and Ian are joining us as well, and I'll bring those questions up for you so that we can see.
You do that. You do that. You just carry on. We'll just sit here and wait till you...
Sip of water while I'm waiting.
Wait till you flaff around. Come on.
All right.
Want a cup of tea?
Craig,
Cup of tea?
Yeah, go on.
here's the first one. Are you excited to finally be able to cheer a team at a World Cup after decades?
He was still dining out and being the last four of Scotland.
You might still be.
He's like, he's walking into the restaurant. Do you know who I am? You know who I am.
Who said I'll be cheering?
Your joy, you could
No,
not
I
hide
won't.
it
No.
the other day.
I was really happy for the players and for Stevie Clark and the supporters. But I'm not sitting here with my wee Jimmy bonnet on and my tartan scarf. No.
He will be. Pretending he doesn't care when he does.
Yeah.
Not that I don't care. It's just that I don't get carried away. Unlike Dan Thomas, the aforementioned Dan Thomas, who apparently is coming off his sickbed back to work. He is the punter, isn't he? When England are playing, he sits there. Get on you.
He is.
So
upset. Well, look.
But it's great. Obviously, I've been watching the reaction in Scotland, so it's great for them to have this opportunity. But I would pull the reins in at the cheering bit of that.
All right.
I'm not a cheerer. Jack?
I'm staying out of this entirely.
That's why it was best when they said to me the other day, try and get some videos of Craig and Stevie watching the game. I was like, it's not going to be worth it. I will, but it's not going to be worth it.
No, I would have taken your phone and thrown it out the window anyway.
Also that.
Can't have that reputation, cheering on teams.
No, and he wasn't either, don't worry.
No, I was Stevie wasn't either.
He's that calm. Yeah, but he did start progressively getting out of his seat and walking closer to the screen.
Yeah, but that was his after.
And then he swore a lot and laughed a lot. And so that was like his way of
But that's
cheering.
a normal day for him.
He's trying to keep his emotions in check.
Okay, question for everyone. Which of the home nations do they think has the best chance of making the World Cup through the playoffs? I'll give this to you, Ian. Wales, Northern Ireland, or my beloved Republic of Ireland? Love the show, Kay, all the way from Dublin. Thanks, Dermot.
I probably think of those three, the Republic of Ireland, because they've got a bit of momentum now. I mean, who would have thought they'd beat Portugal and then go and win again in the way that they did, sensationally. So, Troy Parrott, 5 goals. Who knows where the story ends? Maybe like Scotland, it's written in the stars for them.
Do you reckon?
When are these aforementioned playoffs?
March. Everything's happening.
The Irish,
March.
The Irish, we'll call them the Irish because it's Northern Ireland. The Republic boys, they didn't want to have it like now, weren't they? Because they had this great momentum, which I'm not. They'll still have the confidence, but the momentum they had from the Portugal game in Dublin and then the game in Budapest was you just ride that wave. You've got to bottle all that up and go again in March. But yeah, I'd agree. They've got probably the best chance out of all the teams.
All right. Craig, given the fact Thomas Tuchel has practically... Oh, no, sorry. Which big nation is most in danger of missing out from the World Cup in the playoffs? Italy, Denmark or Turkey?
Well, Italy are there's no comparison in terms of footballing nations. Italy are the biggest by a long shot, historically, all the major tournaments they've won, all the players that they've had.
I can't remember.
Are they...
Here.
Yeah, no. But out of those who's more in danger of missing out? Probably Turkey, I would say. I think Denmark are a better side than they've showed the last 2 games against Belarus and Scotland. They're better than that, but they underperformed, and that's why they got put out. They actually didn't play terribly badly in Glasgow, but they made some bad mistakes, and Scotland scored some great goals. But I would say Turkey are probably, if you're calling them one of the 3 big ones, Turkey are probably most at risk, I think.
I think Denmark is in the toughest of the 3 groups of those 3 nations that you mentioned. So I'm going to lean Denmark.
Well, they've got North Macedonia.
Yep.
Yeah,
then it's Republic and
Czechia and Republic of Ireland to come next. I just think in terms of a group of 4, that's the toughest.
Hey, nobody's asking. You don't have to explain.
You just asked.
You don't have to explain. Just tell us who you think it is.
That's what I said.
We don't need the explanation off the back of it.
Kay asked. She said why. Kay said why.
That's Shaka's interpretation of the question. Yeah.
No, the question was, who do you think?
Who's in the most in danger?
Yeah, we didn't want like a whole paragraph off the back of it.
You didn't.
You give a paragraph.
Maybe
You give 4 paragraphs.
Huh?
Maybe Don't Hutchison, who asked the question, did.
Well, ask for it if you want to.
Okay, this is for you, Craig. Given the fact that Thomas Tuchel has practically confirmed that Rice and Anderson are guaranteed starters at the base of the midfield, if everyone is fit and in form in the most important matches, who should start as the 10? Foden, Bellingham, Palmer or Morgan Rogers?
Well, first things first, right? Nobody's guaranteed to start in the team in November when the World Cup is 6-7 months away. Gary McAllister was our captain of Scotland and a talisman. He didn't make the World Cup because he ruptured his cruciate ligament that season. So there is no such thing at this moment in time as a guaranteed starter, right? For Elliot Anderson or Declan Rice. So I don't think Thomas Tuchel will have had said that. I would be surprised. But in terms of the number 10 role, for all the headlines and all the good stuff Morgan Rogers has done and Phil Foden's playing better, if Jude Bellingham is playing well, Jude Bellingham will probably play in that number 10 role, I would imagine. Now, there's a lot of stuff going in the periphery of Jude Bellingham at the moment that I'm not going to get into. Right? Don't criticise him. He shouldn't be criticised. We're criticising him too much. All this sort of stuff. If Jude Bellingham's playing well for Real Madrid, he will play for England. If he's not playing well for Real Madrid, is it up in the air under Thomas Tuchel? I think it is. But if he's in form, I think Jude Bellingham plays.
Ian?
Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, Craig's trying to veer away from this debate, but it is a debate. You've got one of the leading football writers in the country writing an article, a back page splash the other day, saying Bellingham should be left out of the team because his attitude isn't right. Now, people are trying to turn around and blame the media for this, but it was Thomas Tuchel who started it by saying that his mother found that some of Bellingham's antics were, quotes, repulsive. Okay, he's withdrawn that remark or that word since then, but this debate's been going on. I mean, and I think it's now becoming like victimization of Bellingham. Okay, he did protest a little bit about being subbed wrongly the other night, but they've made a mountain out of a molehill. I mean, he is the best player, and I think he will wind up playing, but there's no doubt at all that Tuchel has just shot a little bullet across his bows in recent times, leaving him out of the last squad. He was fit again by then, and you know, he could have said nothing the other night when Bellingham was subbed, and the journalist asked him afterwards about it. He could have just said, no player likes coming off, there's nothing in it, and they could have moved on. But he didn't. He gave the journalists more quotes and more headlines about it. So can you blame the journalists for writing their stories? I don't think you can.
Okay, interesting. What do you think the role for Foden and Palmer will be, Ian, in this upcoming World Cup?
Well, they're going to struggle to get a game. I think Foden hasn't been great for England. Let's be honest about it. He's played 45 caps, very talented player, hasn't really turned it on for England. So I think it's between the other three. I think he likes Morgan Rogers a lot, though he didn't play that well in the last couple of games. I think Bellingham on class alone, I mean, he is a world elite player. They should try to get him into the team. So I think it will be Bellingham, but I think Thomas Tuchel is just trying to say to him, look, we want a band of brothers here. There's no room for egos. Join us on that journey.
Next question, Frank. Gerard Martin said in a recent interview that he has trouble sleeping at night. Oh, sorry, I've missed one. Sorry, guys.
No.
For
It's
Ian,
gone well this today, isn't it? You're having difficulty with the reading part of.
No, do you know, I've just got my first readers in my life, and now I've got to read it off my phone. I'm like, oops, okay.
Borrow Craig, just borrow Craig.
For Ian, first favourite World Cup memory that you've commented on, and can we get a reenactment of your Go Go USA call?
Well, it is that goal, to be honest with you. I mean, I know people bang on about it, but it was a great moment for the USA, that going out of the World Cup. They score with the last kick of the game, and suddenly they're top of the group. And yeah, it was a light bulb moment, I think, for the game in the United States. But, you know, I wouldn't normally come out with a kind of line like "Go, go, USA." It just came out. It's of the moment. Can I do it again now? No, of course I can't, because the adrenaline isn't flowing like it was that day in where were we? Ellis Park or somewhere.
I bet you've got some good memories of commentating with Ian.
We haven't done that many games.
We haven't done too many.
We did a Premier League game a few years back, didn't we, at Leicester?
Yeah.
But no, because Ian was at Sky most of the time, and I was at the opposite broadcaster at the time, Setanta Sports, with I've done a lot more. I would have liked to work more with Ian. I've done most of my work with John Champion, Peter Drury, Jim Proudfoot, and people like that. But they're all great. All these guys are great operators. But Ian's been dining out in that Go USA for 15 years now.
You should. You keep dining out on that, Ian, especially with the World Cup coming here next year. OK, Frank,
Yeah.
Gerard Martin said in a recent interview that he has trouble sleeping at night because of the stress involved in holding a very high defensive line after a match. Is it worrying that this is the level of struggle players have to endure to follow Hansi Flick's tactics?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I would have been as stressed as Martin is, and I would have said even to the coach, I would have said, no, I don't want to play like that. I don't want to. I want to look like a fool, like committing suicide, you know, and not doing the right thing, because that's not what I think the football. And that's not how I think the football and how we should play, because that's make no sense for me. So I understand him. I mean, it's like going, you know, to an arena and fighting and being a gladiator and having no tools. And you see that guy, you know, with all the thing that he needs to kill you. That's exactly what he does for the defenders. That's a nightmare. That's a real nightmare for defenders. I understand him having nightmares before the game.
Well, Gerard Martin shouldn't have to worry, should he? Really? Because as long as Baldy's fit, he won't have to play a high line, because he won't be playing. And if he does play, I can give him some advice for sleeping. Red wine. Never fails. And lots of it. Oh, out that light. Now, take some water to bed, because you'll wake up with a dry mouth. But I tell you what, you won't have any problem getting to sleep. No high lines from me, Shaq. Tell you that now.
We'll see if we continue to talk about the High Line this weekend. Barcelona back at the Camp Nou.
Boy.
And we will be covering everything,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, on ESPN FC. Guys, thank you so much for sending in the questions.
Even though you couldn't see
Even
them.
though I couldn't read them or see them. I got them in the end on the last question.
Sign of old age, that.
Next time I'll bring them. The best thing was Craig so happy to lend me his glasses.
Yeah, right?
They're dirty.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for sending in your questions.
Them up.
And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow on ESPN FC with more of the same.